Not great news for the Big Ten, as national reports are predicting that John Blackwell is trending hard away from the conference and straight on over to Durham. That's right, over there with Duke. Joe Tipton, Trilly Donovan, and Pete Nakos are all three, some of the guys who have now predicted the Wisconsin transfer is landing with the Duke Blue Devils. Obviously, this impacts UCLA and Illinois, but in this video, I want to discuss what it means for UCLA more so than Illinois. So UCLA fans, get ready for this. We're going to talk about it all. Now, if you're a UCLA fan, I want to ask you before we get started, was this a smart, calculated business decision by Mick Cronin to let him go in the staff, or did they just let a game-changing talent slip away that they are going to regret? For me, this one stings. I think if you're a UCLA fan, this one has to sting. I'm not going to say that Mick Cronin let him get away, but it definitely stings. You know, for weeks, UCLA was right in the mix for Blackwell. He was the exact kind of proven high upside guard they'd been chasing in the portal. 6'4", 19 points a game, 43% from the field, 39% from three, plus 5 plus rebounds, and a solid playmaker as well. He was the number 5 overall guy available in the portal. A walking bucket, a guy who could have stepped right into Mick Cronin's backcourt and given them the immediate scoring punch they really needed after losing some key pieces. But the momentum has completely flipped over to Duke. On threes, Joe Tipton just put in his RPM predicting for Duke after Blackwell's official visit there. Tipton said Duke is carrying the momentum and that this would be a massive get for Jon Scheyer. To be honest, it'd be a massive get for anybody in college basketball. John Blackwell is that good of a player. Then you had Trilly Donovan and Pete Nakos. They piled on with their own intel pointing to the same direction as well. And suddenly the Big Ten chatter of UCLA and Illinois, everybody has gone pretty quiet. I wouldn't say it's dead. You know, these are just predictions, not the end-all be-all. But the smoke is definitely pointing east to Durham in this one. And this is one of the many situations in the portal where the story is the brutal truth of NIL math behind the scenes. Point blank, I don't think UCLA is getting John Blackwell. Yes, like I said, it's just a prediction, but I don't think they're getting John Blackwell. The bigger story is why, though. This wasn't just bad luck or a recruiting miss. It was a calculated NIL choice that the program made months ago, and now they're living with the consequences. Here's the picture inside that has kind of been painted, all right? Most programs in UCLA's NIL bracket can realistically afford one true elite guy, one near elite guy, and then fill out the roster with solid rotation pieces and maybe better pieces that you developed in your program. UCLA decided that elite guy had to be a guard or a wing, someone proven. Not a bad strategy. High floor, ready to produce right away. They put their biggest NIL dollars behind that, which makes sense. But when you get outside that, the market is incredibly difficult to manage. Guys who were backups, averaging like 6 points, maybe 4 rebounds a game, are now commanding 2, 3, maybe even $4 million in NIL to go to a school. UCLA looked at the numbers and basically said, they're not paying that for a coin flip player who might not even crack the rotation in the Big Ten. They had a deal in place with the App State Luke Wilson, very team-friendly money, but it fell apart at the last second. Wilson's already going to make $1 million, more someplace else. Virginia Tech's Christian Gurdak, he was another name that kicked around as well, but the staff wasn't convinced he'd play enough meaningful minutes either for the price that maybe that was out there for them. So now UCLA is sitting here without Blackwell and without the big they thought they'd pair Xavier Booker with. The plan now is that they'll keep hunting the post market, but they're being smart about it, okay? And that's what you have to do at this point. They're looking at more affordable options who can actually contribute, and maybe some guys who can develop a little bit, guys who might not be household names but can give them depth and physicality against the bigger Big Ten front courts. There's still talk about Filip Jovic sliding into the 5 in some small ball type of looks this season as well. The kid showed real flashes at Auburn playing center in their best lineup. Some scouts at Mississippi State says Macura as a potential 4 next to Booker could happen as well. And yeah, if a couple more bigs hit the portal late or the prices shake out, then I think they could pounce in those situations. But the days of throwing 8 figures at an unproven backup are over for this staff. They've made their bet on the perimeter, and now they have to make it work. Quite frankly, Mick Cronin is just going to have to make this work. But that doesn't mean that they're doomed. Cronin still builds tough physical teams, and they've got young pieces like Javonte Floyd who can grow into their role and be something for them. And as we know, if you can develop a guy, you can often retain them for less than they would go someplace else for, as long as providing you have a good relationship for them. But missing on Blackwell does leave a hole in the scoring column, and it forces them to get creative with what's left in the portal. The guard and wing class is still deep, so maybe they'll double down with and go ultra small with a Booker and Floyd and the 5 in certain matchups, or maybe they'll wait for the market to cool down and snag a post who can actually fit the budget in the system. UCLA rolled the dice on unproven on a proven perimeter talent over a pricey, uncertain front court, and the dice came up Duke. It's not the end of the world for the Bruins, but it does mean their offseason just got a little bit harder to try and manage and a lot more interesting to watch and see what they do. And I know, I hear many of you saying the entire time I'm talking about this, you're like, well, JR, if they didn't get Blackwell, why can't they just use that money for another big? Just go out and spend the 5, 6, whatever money you had for Blackwell and go spend it on another big and, put somebody else there. Unfortunately, it's not quite that simple. For some schools, yes, the money is given and the money is used. However, coaches, teams, general managers, however they see fit. At other places, money is pledged for specific players. And if you miss out on that player, you also miss out on, maybe not all of that money, but a good amount of that money, right? That's not to say UCLA is broke, but that is to say that if UCLA had $5 million pledged to them for Blackwell, and this is just a random number I'm putting out there, they are not going to see all 5 million of those dollars. It's rough out there in the NIL streets. I know everyone wants to blame Cronin and say fire the coach, and I get that. But I also don't think firing Cronin makes everything just like instantly better. I'm not going to say it wouldn't make it better, but I don't think it makes it instantly better. Can it? Sure, maybe. But also, it might not. Let me know down in the comments, do you trust Cronin's plan to prioritize the perimeter over chasing over those overpriced posts down there? Or are you worried they missed the boat on Blackwell? I'd love to hear your thoughts and what you have to say. Sound off in the comments below. Like, subscribe to the Big Ten Huddle,